Good morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, I had a voice radio, so today I am back with a video I've been meaning to make for a little while, and a video I've been promising to make for a little while. It is time for me to tell you why Lapras is so good again when it disappeared completely, and it's a very different deck to what it used to be before. Now, a little while ago when Lapras came out, it was quite good, but it was used really because it had high HP, people would use Collect to draw a bunch of cards, and it was a disruption deck not unlike something like Sylveon, playing stuff like Crushing Hammer and Team Flare Grunt while you sit there and collect. So you've got all the cards that you need, Fighting Fury, about high HP, off we go. That was how Lapras was played initially. That's not to say every Lapras deck was like that, but that was what Lapras was when it came out. Kind of like a pseudo Wailord deck. And then, of course, and we had Rough Seas at the time, obviously. But then the rotation happened and kicked a bunch of cards out. And then, to put it bluntly, Tapu Bulu was pretty much everywhere. And Golisopod Zoroark became pretty much the best deck in the format. And Golisopod gets a very easy one-hit KO on a Lapras for a single energy. And quite frankly, there is no way you can play Lapras in a format where you've got a Pokemon coming out with one energy getting an easy one-hit KO. That, ladies and gentlemen, is not something that we can do. Pain in the neck, but there we go. So why is it that Lapras is all of a sudden really good again? Well, there's a couple of reasons. Chief among them, Golisopod's not good anymore. Golisopod isn't a particularly viable Pokemon. We're in a big one-hit KO format with stuff like Buzzwole and Ultra Necrozma, and we've got Beast Ring. Well, it's got Beast Energy as well, I suppose. And quite frankly, we're in a big one-hit KO format. And Golisopod was not a big one-hit KO Pokemon, it was a two-hit KO Pokemon while using stuff like Ace Roller. In its time, around about the rotation last year when it came out, it was amazing. It reached the final of the World Championships. It won a lot of tournaments. It was really good. It's over, ladies and gentlemen. Golisopod's not good anymore. And Tapu Bulu is still a thing, but as we're going to talk about in a minute, that's not a huge problem. We can deal with that. So let's take another look at Lapras. Yeah, you've still got Collect, 1 Water Energy, draw 3 cards. That's very nice because in the early game it's going to help you set up, and that's going to be a thing which is kind of beautiful. But there's more than that. You've got Blizzard Burn, 160, and you can't attack next turn. The not able to attack next turn isn't a huge problem, as we're going to see in a moment. So 160, you add a Choice Band on there, and you're hitting 190. Well, that's good, because Buzzwole, Ultra Necrozma, these Pokemon we were talking about a minute ago, they are all going down to this. Now, admittedly, you're not getting a one-hit KO on something like Zoroark or Golisopod, but those Pokemon are going away. They're not a huge part of the format they used to be. Nowadays, Lapras with a Choice Band will get a one-hit KO on the vast majority of really good Pokemon, which wasn't true even a few months ago. Then, of course, you got Ice Beam GX, 100 damage, instant paralysis. Gonna be honest, there's a bit too much Guzma running around for that to be good at the moment. But still, in a pinch, it will win you a couple of games here and there. Now, of course, it's a water Pokemon, so you've got Brooklet Hill, which means you've got that added layer of consistency that, to be blunt, most decks just aren't going to be able to match. And then, of course, you're sitting there thinking, well, it takes free energy, but we're really not worried, because you've got both Max Elixir and Aqua Patch. Max Elixir, look at the top 6 cards of your deck, find a basic water energy and attach it to one of your benched basic Pokemon. Aqua Patch, it allows you to attach a water energy from your discard to one of your water Pokemon. The point, ladies and gentlemen, is very simple. You've now got the added speed. And let's go back to Tapu Bulu here. Now, Tapu Bulu is generally played with Vikavolt. And you get a Vikavolt out, and then essentially you use the ability to accelerate 2 energy onto Tapu Bulu. You use your attachment for the turn to accelerate a 3rd energy, and you've got Tapu Bulu up and running. I'm not convinced Tapu Bulu has that great a matchup against Lapras. Okay, it doesn't need a choice band to get a KO, whereas Lapras does, but Lapras still gets a one-hit KO with a choice band. And the thing is, on turn 2, Lapras needs to have hit 1 Max Elixir or 1 Aqua Patch. On turn 2, Tapu Bulu needs to have hit a Rare Candy Vikavolt. And if Lapras gets the first KO, it will probably win the game. Now, admittedly, if Tapu Bulu gets the first KO, they'll probably win the game. And essentially here, it's betting on consistency. Do you think a Lapras can get a Max Elixir or an Aqua Patch before Tapu Bulu can get a turn 2 Vikavolt? Or before they can get a Vikavolt? And maybe it's not. But the other thing is here, let's say you go second with Lapras. Maybe you can hit 2 Max Elixir / Aqua Patch in one turn. Now, you may well not be able to, in which case, fine, okay, you know, it's not a huge deal, to be honest with you. But sometimes you will, and in the games that you will, you'll probably win. And this doesn't just go for Tapu Bulu. Look at a Malamar Ultra and a Crozma deck. You're basically trading one-hit KOs for one-hit KOs, except they need to get all their Malamar set up. Look at a Buzzwole deck. They're going to be using Beast Ring, but you basically are going to take the first KO against a Buzzwole because they're not going to be able to get free energy on easily without Beast Ring. See where I'm going with this? You should beat Buzzwole decks with this, and you should have somewhere around 50-50 matchups against Ultra and Necrozma, and even against stuff like Tapu Bulu that should be a bad matchup. And if you don't get the turn 1 Lapras, just use Collect. Draw 3 cards. You've got built-in consistency with Collect. You've got Brooklet Hill to get your Pokemon out. And then, of course, you've got your Max Elixir and your Aqua Patch. Now, admittedly, it's only till rotation, but then again, so's Max Elixir. But we got Octillery here. And a deck which is playing Brooklet Hill has a much easier time playing Octillery. But there's another card which has come out which really, really helps with this particular deck. And it's Volcanion Prism Star. These Prism Stars are supposed to be really good. And this one really is. Now, it's a water Pokemon, so again, Brooklet Hill says hello. And it's got an ability, Jet Geyser. Once during your turn, you may discard a water energy from your hand, and then your opponent switches their active Pokemon. It's a free repel. But it also gets water energy into the discard, which we know we're going to need in order to use Aqua Patch. So anyone worrying about being able to use Aqua Patch, don't worry. This is going to help you massively. I mean, to be fair, you've also got Crash Awake if you really like, which will also give you a little bit of added consistency, because discard 2 water energy and then search for any 2 cards. It's not going to work often, but maybe you play one, because you can always search it out with Tapu Lele. And now you've got a nice little trick for discarding energy and for disrupting your opponent, but let's not sleep on the attack of Volcanion Prism Star here. Sauna Burst, 100 damage, 20 to each of your opponent's bench. Yeah, it's for free water energy, but again, Max Elixir and Aqua Patch will work nicely here. And you're spreading 20 damage while doing 100. So you're 2-hit KOing pretty much anything here, while spreading 20 damage, so if you've got stuff like a Zoroark, one of these and you bring them into range. Or your opponent's going to be trying to go after 2 prize Lapras while you're sitting there taking 2-hit KOs with Volcanion Prism Star, which means your opponent's got to deal with it, and then you're basically forcing them into a 7 prize game, making them KO 3 Lapras after they've KO'd your Volcanion Prism Star while you're taking big 1-hit KOs. It is a very good deck, and it's got a lot of good tricks. Why is it better than it used to be? Because we got Volcanion Prism Star, because Golisopod's not very good anymore, and because the format has gone to a whole bunch of 190 HP Pokemon which are in range of Lapras. And you're still going to have some bad matchups. If you come across anyone playing Golisopod, and it is still out there, it's just nowhere near as good, you will almost certainly get smashed, because first impression for 1 energy gets an easy 1-hit KO, and you've got to spread some damage with Volcanion Prism Star to get a KO. Although you could always play a Professor Kukui if you were worried, but then you're getting into awkward territory. Similarly, Gardevoir is going to have a field day here. Gardevoir is going to be able to get easy 1-hit KOs while you've got free energy on you, while you're really struggling to hit up to 230. Having said that, they're at stage 2, so there's always a chance here that they're just going to not get anything going, and you can get yourself a cheeky win in that regard. My point is, it's here. Is it here to stay? I don't know. Post-rotation, we're losing Max Elixir. That is a huge loss to this, because then you've only got Aqua Patch and you really do lose a lot of your speed. But at least for the next few months until rotation, Lapras is here, ladies and gentlemen, and I expect it to be a very good deck indeed. But now it's time to hear from you, lovely ladies and gentlemen. I want to know how good you think this can be. So let me know in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. Make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWossy, and Twitch for some live action at twitch.tv/PTCG Radio. If you want to support the channel, get some bonus podcasts and all of that, head on over to patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can do just that. But by far the most important thing, as always, is to look after yourselves until next time. Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.